Hello. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. So, how's the day going for you so far?
It's really good, yeah. I think we've seen a lot of good bands on, a lot of good acts and a lot of good spoken word, yeah.
So what's spoken word all about then?
Spoken word is a form of poetry. It's a bit like a merge between poetry and hip-hop. And it's open for everybody. If you feel like you've got something to say, get up there and say it.
And what were you playing today?
I was doing mainly poetry myself today. Some things that I've written. Poetry about social issues.
What are these social issues? Can you give us an example?
Virtually every social issue. I write about homelessness. I write about homelessness, about incest, rape, suicide, and some nice things like love and falling in love and children being born, and some happy things as well as some sad things as well. Yeah.
Do you have a favourite one that you've written yourself?
Yeah, I think my favourite one is a poem called Trapped, which is actually about a young girl who's been sexually assaulted, and her mother doesn't believe her and sort of is angry at her. But it causes mental health issues, so this is in the sort of 50s, early 60s. So she's put into a mental institution and undergoes electric shock treatment, and the electric shock treatment brings everything back to her, which makes her push it further back in her mind, so she's actually trapped in that institution. Yeah.
Oh, these are serious issues, aren't they?
Quite serious, yeah. It's not the normal subject matter that poetry is about, but then poetry shouldn't really just be about flowers and daffodils, really, as far as I'm concerned.
That would be funny, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. Poetry is for everybody, and some people like it to be flowing and gentle. A lot of the stuff the writers say is like love poems, so they're probably more acceptable. Sometimes it depends on the audience, but there are issues that need to be spoken about, and I prefer to do that through poetry.
So where do you actually do these? Do you do them in Lancashire, or is this a worldwide thing?
I personally will do it in Lancashire. I don't tend to travel that much, but poetry itself is worldwide. Spoken word is worldwide. There's a big scene in America and San Francisco with spoken word. It's worldwide. There's a big social movement in a lot of the Islamic countries now with the internet. There's a lot of spoken word going on there, so everybody has something to say, and why not? We're in that environment now where you don't have to you don't even have to get up on stage. You can actually put it on your own Facebook site, or be a member of another site and put your stuff up there for everyone to listen to. We've all got an opinion on everything. As my dad used to say, opinions are like noses. Everybody has one.
Yeah.
So, I think there's a movement now where people are sort of fed up being brainwashed and spoon-fed information. So they want to put their side of the story, and it's like an Arab Spring of poetry, if you will, in the spoken word, where people can actually put their viewpoints on social issues out there.
I like what you're wearing. You're a bit of a green marine today, aren't you? I
am, yeah. I always like to be colour coordinated if I can. Yeah.
And are they're sunglasses, right? Or
no, they're not sunglasses. They're special, very expensive glasses I'd made for me.
A particular reason?
Yeah, it's because I'm dyslexic, and I didn't know I was dyslexic. Obviously, I was born dyslexic, but I didn't know until I got to the age of 40. I'd been made redundant 3 times, so I decided to go to university. And it was at university that I discovered I was dyslexic. I had a test, got the glasses, and my world opened up from then on. And I think that's opened up me to write properly, and also to be able to read other people's stuff as well, because I really couldn't read more than a sentence or two before I was about 40, so I've had a lot of catching up to do, but there's a lot of people out there who might be dyslexic. It's very hard now to get a test for it, so I'd suggest if anyone is having problems reading, talk to a teacher or have a look at the British Dyslexic Association online.
And how can people get involved with spoken word? You know, where is the access to that?
Phil's probably your best man to talk about how you can get in.
Phil's his son. Phil, come over here. Stop playing nonsense behind your dad. Right, we're asking, where can people get access to spoken word if they want to get involved?
Access to spoken word. Anyway, YouTube is the best place to access spoken word. You go on YouTube and you type in spoken word and loads of stuff comes up. People like Kate Tempest, Tony Walsh, Longfellow. Yeah, there's some brilliant spoken word about. But stuff I do, the company I set up is Bespoke. It's called. The moment, like I was saying to you earlier.
Yeah, we spoke earlier over a cup of tea.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, we used to do workshops around Lancashire in community centres, youth centres, and basically through performing, not just myself but various performers, we get the audience, which are all teens, to ask the performers questions, and through that we sort of teach them life skills and empowerment basically. So teach them confidence skills just by talking about the music industry and experiences that people have gone through. But from that, Bespoke at the moment, I'm just doing run a couple of creative writing groups across Lancashire, and like I was just saying on stage, one online on Facebook, and basically I'm always trying to get people I know to write poems and poetry. There's a kind of pretentiousness with poetry that puts a lot of people off, you know what I mean, because there's the establishment, and tell you that poetry's got to be a certain way.
People don't need skills, do they? They can just learn from the beginning. Yeah,
well, to me, people have skills, and what they learn at school is de-skilling and dumbing down. For me, poetry is about rhyming. Obviously, it doesn't have to rhyme. You know, you've got prose that doesn't rhyme, and there's creative writing. Like the guy whose poem, it was a mate of mine, but he was a journalist, and he's got a really creative way of writing. It's awesome to read. You know what I mean? I got him to write a poem, and that's the one I read out before. But I lost my train of thought. But no, everyone's got poetry in them. It's a bit like Fight Club. There are rules, but the main rule is that there are no rules. Do you know what I mean? There is structure. There's ways of doing stuff, but you don't have to obey those schools and those rules, or you can mix and blend them. But everyone knows how to rhyme, basically, and everyone, it's just good to catching people that haven't been schooled. People that are kind of schooled in poetry, I don't really have a lot of time for, because it gets a bit pretentious. But that's why I like punk poets and beat poets. You know what I mean? And prison poetry as well. Prison poetry is fantastic.
What's that?
It's poetry wrote in prisons. But it
very simple.
Obviously, Rotten Walls. If you think about it, these people, they've all committed crimes of various sorts, and they've got a lot of time on their hands. And also, tends to be not very well educated. I hate saying that, but it's true. So the vocabulary's basic. There's no sort of there's no overdosing on metaphors and similes and alliteration and all that sort of stuff. They're just sort of like limericks and anecdotes about their life in prison, sort of hiding the drugs from the screws and just life as it is. So there's no pretension in it whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? And that is the beauty of it, because it's real truth. It's not truth dressed up in any sort of any poetic metaphors and all that sort of stuff. It's just people writing how they feel, what's going on in their lives, and it just happens to rhyme. But it's brilliant to read.
So would you say spoken word is also a platform to maybe get together cultures as well? Would that be the right way to do it?
Yeah, cool. There's always been a lot of that going on. The great thing about getting cultures together is obviously the different languages, so different words rhyme in different languages, do you know what I mean? But like my favourite style of poetry is Sufi poetry. My favourite poet is Rumi, and he's a Persian poet, so he talks a lot obviously about God and love and the universe, but he talks about being intoxicated with love. And I have this sort of running debate with some of my Muslim friends, because what they say is when he says intoxicated with love, he means, you know, overcome by love for everything and all that. And I say, are you sure he doesn't mean intoxicated? You know what I mean? Because he talks about it a lot, do you know what I mean? There's one poem where he's out at night, and he talks about being connected with the stars and the universe, and everything makes complete sense. A bit like he's off his box, but in the zone. And then the lines sort of like translated into English, which rhyme as well. It says, but then when he woke up in the morning, it was over, and he was sober. I think that guy knows how to get high, do you know what I mean?
I'm going to ask Barry, so do you think Burnley FC are going to win today?
No.
Are you a supporter?
Sorry?
Are you a supporter?
I do support Burnley. Yeah, I'm from Liverpool originally, so that's where my bias is. I hope Burnley do well this year, but it's going to be very, very difficult for them.
You'll never walk alone, mate. You'll never walk.
He's wearing a badge with the Liverpool. Look at that. A true Liverpoolian. What about you? Do you think that Burnley's going to win today?
Yeah, I don't know who they're playing.
Swansea, they're playing Swansea today.
Right. I don't follow it, football, to be honest.
You're into your spoken word.
Yeah, it's not that. For me, I have this with my dad. I lost touch with football. I can play it, and I'm a good player. I enjoy playing it, but I'm not into the politics of who's come from what side and whatnot, because it's not Burnley anymore. Do you know what I mean? There's probably only a couple of players that are actually from Burnley. Do you know what I mean? The rest are signings and whatnot. So it's not Burnley anymore. Just like Liverpool isn't Liverpool because there's only a handful of Scousers playing. Do you know what I mean? But I'm still, you know, I support Liverpool, really. Do you know what I mean? But that's, to me, it's the sense of belonging, and all my family are Scouse. Do you know what I mean?
Are you looking forward to listening to any artists today?
I'm looking forward to listening to them all, because I enjoy everything that everyone else does. You know, if someone's prepared to get up there and do their music, read their poetry or some spoken word, I think the least we can do is acknowledge that and listen, and give them the encouragement, because you know, all the good artists that we have round and about have gigged at places like this and had 2 or 3 people stood there, and you know, they've had boos and things. But you need to get up there, and you know, if there's encouragement, you feel a camaraderie, you feel like you're doing something right. And there's also a lot of people who are not the doers, they're the watchers, the listeners, and they're here to be entertained, and I hope they are. I think they have been in this centre anyway.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Phil and Barry, for coming.